Okay, so the first thing you're going to have to do is pull the side marker off. The screws for that are around here. The screws for that are here. So you got to open up your door and find those screws, unscrew that, push the side marker straight out. You come around here, take the side marker off, and then this screw hole here is for the trim piece, the grill piece on the front. So you'll need to pull that on both sides and actually pop the trim, the grill off, and then that will expose all the screws. Okay, so you have a screw here to pull this off. You have a screw right here to pull this off, and the last one is down here. This is the one that can be tricky to get to if the bumper is still on. As you can see, my screwdriver goes past the edge of the light here, so with the bumper I can't do that. But if you have a longer screwdriver than mine, you can leave the bumper on and shouldn't have an issue. So we're going to pause here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and then I'll show you how to get it all adjusted out. Okay, so I've got the unit off the vehicle. It was the 3 screws that I showed you. When you go to pull it off, all the plugs here is one. Over here, there are, in this case, there were 2 separate ones on the driver's side. It was one unit. They pull straight off. Just be careful with that. If you decide not to use a Phillips head, either because your bolts are stuck or you're using a socket wrench, it is a 10mm bolt head to pull those 3 screws out. Now, this is our main headlight. This is a water sealed unit or moisture sealed unit. Keeps moisture out of there, so there is a couple steps to pull that out. But before we do that, I want to point out that this screw right here and this screw right here are your adjuster screws that control the side-to-side and up and down adjustments of the lens itself. So I had somebody, when I said I was switching to LED, they got all worried and said, well, you know, if you switch to LED, everybody's going to be flashing you because it's a right-hand drive vehicle, and so the lights on the left side are going to be aimed way over and high because that would be the shoulder of the road in Japan. And so, you know, I just want you guys to see that you can adjust these 2 screws and change the aim on that lens. Okay, and the screws, at least one of these screws, I believe the up and down screw, is accessible through a port in the firewall from the inside, so that you can adjust these while the light is mounted on the vehicle. So you can go ahead and swap out the bulb, get this mounted back up, and then I'm going to pause this and I'll show you where that port's at so you can pull that plug and actually make the adjustment on the car. Alright, so right now I'm on the outside of the vehicle looking at where the headlight was mounted. Hopefully you guys can see that. The lighting's not great. But right in here is a rubber port through the firewall. And so that's where, from the inside, you would get in there and actually adjust that lens. Okay, here it is on the inside. It's very close to the kicker panel. My carpet's not staying up over here, but there we go. Okay, so I'm right below the glove box. It's to the left, over towards the kick panel, and you can just pop that out of there if you want to, and make that adjustment on the vehicle. Okay, so if you haven't already thought of it, if you're using a hard surface, I recommend putting a rag down so you don't scratch your glass. What we're going to do here at the headlight, we're going to twist that loose. That's the lock that holds the gasket in place. We're going to pull that gasket off of there. Like that. Set that off to the side. And here's your light. Now there is a clip in here that requires you to loosen a screw to get the clip out. I would suggest that you hold the actual clip itself with a pair of needle nose pliers. I swapped out my driver's side headlight last night. As soon as that screw was loose, this clip shot out like a bullet, and I wasn't wearing safety glasses for this, so got real close to getting me in the eye. So hang on to this clip with pliers while you loosen that screw. I'm going to pause here and take that out. Good? Okay, so I have a hold of the clip with the pliers. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the Phillips head screw here, enough to be able to pull that loose. And you can see even with the pliers it kind of popped out pretty forcefully. At this point you can just slide the light straight out, set that off to the side, and then we'll begin the installation of this in another video because this one's getting kind of long, so my camera's not gonna, or my phone is gonna run out of space here. So I'm gonna pause here and we'll pick it up with a second video.